Hello friends! In 1998, an American man bought an island for $8 million. On the map, this 75-acre island was part of the United States Virgin Islands in the Caribbean. It was called Little Saint James. From the outside, this private island was no less than a heaven. Very beautiful beaches, a lot of greenery. There was a luxury bungalow-like palace in the middle. Luxury guest villas were all around. 2 big swimming pools, a gym, and a helipad were also there. But in this very heaven, a very dark truth was hidden. A truth that made the people living in the nearby islands call this island a pedophile island. 12 to 17-year-old girls were trafficked here, and they were sexually abused. These girls couldn't even run away from here because there were seas all around. Once a 15-year-old girl tried to swim away, but he was caught and his passport was snatched. The most surprising thing is who used to come to this island. Rich people from all over the world, billionaires, and famous celebrities. Many big names are included in this list. The British Prince Andrew, scientist Stephen Hawking, comedian Chris Tucker. I don't know how many politicians and billionaires came to this island. Parties were organized here for them. But the question is, who was the owner of this island? The answer to this is a name. Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein used to teach maths to kids in Brooklyn. He was a school teacher, but fate played such a game that in his career, he suddenly became the financial advisor of billionaires. By accumulating a wealth of around $60 crore, he became a multi-millionaire. Among his friends, Bill Clinton and Donald Trump and the former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak were among them. In today's video, let's find out the truth behind America's biggest scandal. The whole story of the Epstein Files, which is happening this Sunday, the 4th of January at 7 p.m. Everything that was happening in Epstein Island was hidden for years. But in 2005, a small police complaint became the trigger for this case. In March 2005, a 14-year-old girl and her parents were at a beach in Florida. The girl says that in Royal Palm Beach High School, a classmate who was studying with her took her to a rich man's house. She was told that she just had to give a massage and she would get $200. 300. But something else happened when she got there. Epstein meets that girl only wearing a towel. He asks the girl to take off her clothes and then molests her. That is there any other girl whom you know who went to Epstein's place? So he gave 2 names. When he talked to those 2 girls, 2 more names came up. And when he talked to those 2 girls again, 2 more names came up. The police officers were shocked to see that this chain was not stopping. By the time the police tracked 1 victim, 2 more would have come up. In just a few months, the Palm Beach police chief had identified 35 victims, and dozens of victims are being tracked now. The most heart-wrenching thing about this was that she led me up a staircase and we made a right into Jeffrey's room, and Jeffrey laying naked on the massage table. I really wanted this job, so I opened up to them. I said, "Look, this is an opportunity of a lifetime for me. I've been on the streets, I've been abused, and that's the worst thing that I could have done, because I just let them know that I'm vulnerable and I'm their perfect type." The police saw that this was not a small case. It was a properly organized pyramid scheme. every girl gets extra money to bring a new girl, because of which one girl brings another girl and another brings a third one. In this way, a chain was formed, and most of the girls of this age under 18 years of age. By May 2006, the Palm Beach police had prepared a case against Epstein. The case was so strong that in July 2006, the FBI also started an investigation which was named Operation Leap Year. A report of 53 pages was made. From Florida to New York, New Mexico, victims' statements were taken. Epstein was charged with international sex trafficking. I was 16 years old, 14 years old. This is me. This was me. This was me when I met Jeffrey Epstein. 36 minor victims, dozens of witnesses, FBI investigation, and such heavy charges. A man like Jeffrey Epstein should have spent his entire life in jail. But the truth is that something else was going on behind the scenes. Miami's federal attorney, Alexander Acosta, was having a secret deal with Epstein's lawyers. This deal seemed to be done to save Epstein. He just had to feel guilty about 2 small charges of prostitution. And in return, he and his associates was given immunity from all criminal charges. That is, no other charges could be filed against him. The most shocking thing about this deal was that it was sealed. That is, no one could even look at this deal. Even the victims, even the poor girls, were not told about it. While in America, according to the law, it is mandatory to tell the victims about any such deal. But no, one was able to do anything. On June 30th, Epstein appears in court, and according to the deal, he considers himself guilty in 2 charges, after which he was sentenced to only 18 months. Only 18 months. During this sentence, Epstein was kept in the private wing of the Palm Beach County Jail. He was given permission to go to his luxury office for 12 hours a week, for 6 days a week. It was such a first-class jail that Epstein was only allowed to sleep there at night. And even after all this, only 5 months before the sentence was over, he was released from jail in July 2009. All this was possible because of that secret deal, because of Alexander Acosta, who got Epstein this deal. Now see the twist in the story, friends. This is Alexander Acosta. Later on, Epstein's old friend in Donald Trump's first government became the Secretary of Labor. For many years, Epstein lived his life normally. Nothing happened to him. He roamed in his private jet, threw lavish parties on his island, and met powerful people. Our story ends here. The villain escapes. But in a corner of the world, there was a woman. There was a journalist who had decided not to let Epstein escape, Julie Knipe Brown. She was an American investigative journalist who was working for the Miami Herald. In 2009, after Epstein was released, she followed the case closely. After studying the case for years, in November 2018, she published her report. Not 1, not 2, but a whole series of reports on Epstein's crimes and how the system saved Epstein. Julie named it Perversion of Justice. These reports bring a new explosion in the media. The public's anger rises. There is a demand to investigate Epstein again. And because of this pressure, the investigation against Epstein starts again in New York. Julie had identified more than 80 potential victims in her investigation. In her reports, she interviewed 8 of them and documented them. The evidence was very clear. That's why in July 2019, Epstein is arrested again, this time the charges of direct sex trafficking. He was sentenced to 45 years in prison. But then comes the biggest twist of our story. On the 10th of August, 2019, Epstein is found dead in jail. The disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein is dead. Epstein took his own life while he was behind bars, facing charges of sex trafficking. The video was released by the Department of Justice to prove that no one entered Epstein's cell before he was found dead, and that he really did take his own life. But it's only fueling more conspiracy theories. He retweeted a tweet saying that Epstein didn't commit suicide. He had secret information about Bill Clinton. That's why Bill Clinton killed him. Epstein didn't kill himself became a popular slogan among Trump supporters. In the 2024 American presidential elections, Donald Trump makes it a big issue. He promises that as soon as he becomes the president, all the Epstein files will be made public. Whenever he is asked in interviews if he will declassify the Epstein files, Trump answers, "Yes, I will do it." In January 2025, Trump wins the elections again and becomes the President of America. Now, everyone was waiting for the release of the Epstein files. Trump's supporters were especially excited about this. But in July 2025, the Justice Department of the Trump administration announced that Epstein's client list does not exist, and now no file will be released. Then, Trump himself took a U-turn. He started calling Epstein Files a boring issue. He started saying that it's a Democratic Party's hoax that never ends. It's pretty boring stuff. Democrat hoax that never ends. Trump said that the FBI should focus on important issues like voter fraud and should not waste their energy and time on issues like Epstein, cheater. Trump's supporters asked why he was silent. Elon Musk even tweeted that Trump's name is in Epstein's files. Later, Elon deleted the tweet, but the message was clear. Trump's closest supporters became suspicious. Trump and Epstein were best friends for 20 years. In the 1980s, the friendship grew so deep that they spent time together in each other's bungalows, offices, Trump's Plaza Hotel, and casinos. Epstein was seen with Trump in almost every party. According to an ex-employee of Epstein, in the 1990s, Trump and Epstein used to talk on the phone at least 3 times a week. Many times, Epstein used to put Trump on the speaker and talk in the office. In this conversation, Trump used to whisper in front of Epstein about what he did with which woman. According to model Stacey Williams, women were like a trophy for Trump and Epstein. Stacey was accused of in 1993, when she was dating Epstein. One day she went to the Trump Tower with him, where Trump pulled her towards him and touched her in a wrong way. Epstein saw all this happening, and according to Stacey, Epstein liked that she had a model whom Trump was following. Similarly, according to another victim, the parties in which Epstein forced her to make relations with other guests, Trump was also present in those parties. In 2002, Trump himself said about Epstein. Trump had also signed a note for Epstein in his book, Trump, The Art of Comeback. To Jeff, you are the greatest. Because of this friendship, these conspiracy theories emerged that Trump is also not among those people whose Epstein files have some damaging details. And that's why he doesn't want to make all those files public. With all these things, rumors started spreading among the public. Because of these conspiracy theories, the public pressure increased so much that in November 2025, a bill was brought to the U.S. Congress. in which it was said that the Justice Department will have to release all the Epstein files within 30 days. It was a rare moment to see a Republican and a Democratic Party voting on the same issue. Both the politicians supported this bill together. Here, in comparison to India, there is a big difference in America. In the Indian Parliament, political parties can use the anti-defection law to force their members of Parliament to vote in favor or against a bill. But the American Parliament, which is called the U.S. Congress, its members can vote as they wish. No political party can force it. That's why Trump's unwillingness to vote. Some Trump supporters were excited that finally Bill Clinton will be exposed, and the conspiracy theories that have been going on for years will finally be proven. But when the day of the 19th of December came, the Justice Department released only a few thousand files were heavily redacted. That is, more than half of the things were hidden in them using a black marker. It was not easy to understand what was being said in these files, but still, when people read them in detail, what came out in these files was less about Clinton and more about Donald Trump. Donald Trump's name repeatedly appeared in Epstein's files. According to one email, Trump traveled 8 times from Epstein's private plane. The same Trump who always said that he never sat in Epstein's plane. Similarly, in another email sent to a reporter, Epstein wrote, Trump knew about the girls because he asked Maxwell to stop all this. According to Epstein, Trump knew what was going on, but he remained silent. He didn't tell the police. New revelations are the most shocking. The FBI received a call. A limousine driver called on the 27th of October, 2020, just before the U.S. presidential election. The driver told the FBI that in 1995, when he was taking Trump to the Texas airport, at that time, Trump was talking on the phone about abusing a girl. According to the call record, 4 years later, in 1999, when the driver told this to a woman, she calmed down. And then she said, Trump and Epstein had raped me. This woman told the driver that a girl had taken her to a fancy hotel or building where she was raped. Apart from that, there was another document in the Epstein files, a letter on which J. Epstein was signed. The letter said, Offender Larry Nassar. It was written in it, we have one thing in common, our love for young ladies. Our president also loves young girls like us, but we have to eat in jail, and he is the president. Life is very unfair. When this letter was written in 2019, Trump was the president of America. And the most interesting thing is that the Justice Department, which should be neutral like a government body, started behaving like Trump's personal lawyer. These rape allegations were called untrue and sensational. Similarly, the letter was called fake without any report. Trump, who was turning Epstein files into an election weapon before the elections, is trapped in it today. The list of clients that went to the island has not been made public. The Epstein thing. But yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it. The conspiracy theories that were being spread by his supporters are now being weighed on by him. But there is another twist in this whole story, friends. All the Epstein files have not been released yet. More than 10 lakh documents have been left, which have not been made public yet. The Justice Department says that redactions are being done in these documents, which may take a few weeks. The documents that have been made public have also been redacted a lot. Black markers have been applied. Names have been blackened. Dates have been removed. In many pages, half of the lines have been covered with black markers. But the Justice Department has not done these redactions properly in many places. There are many such files in which these redacted words can be seen with a simple hack like Photoshop. They are not even needed in many documents. Redacted words can be copied and pasted in other documents. The most important question here is what else is hidden in these files? There were evidences against powerful people, and there was a list of people who came to his island. With time, we will see how many presidents, prime ministers, billionaires, Arabs, and princes are trapped in this, and how many people's names will be revealed in Epstein's Black Book. That's it for now, friends. And if you liked this video, thank you very much.